sound play, but why would I when you're standing here right in front of me? Truly harmonic. Oh, you've got me good. It's a concept I just can't refuse, but you had to see through what seems without flaw. So you may say that this anthem of ours wrong away. Maybe it's true. So when this sound leaves my ear, I can't help but to sing it again. Hope that if I sing it out, maybe you'll comprehend. I've been around now, and all is silent. What we've got here is truly harmonic. Whoa, 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 whoa. So when you think of me and the lyrics that we used to sing, and take them for then what they appear. All along, I'll admit that it's all just a song, but maybe it's more than singing to me. Do we exist if the sound of our music stops playing? 'Cause maybe the next time around things won't be the same without exchange. So you be real now, and I'll be honest, that what we've got here is truly harmonic. And I can search just to hear the same sound play, but why would I when you're standing here right in front of me? Truly harmonic.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man.
Good evening.
All
How
right.
are you, Music Man?
Hello, Darren. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
By the way, I want to thank everybody that tuned in last week. We killed on views, and that's because of you, the viewers, and we thank you very, very much for that. And hopefully it will continue, so thank you.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the show, and you know what? More as we progress, the shows are going to get better and better and better. I assure you that.
You think tonight's show is going to be as good?
I think tonight's show is going to be better.
We got a character.
We got a character. We got a fantastic guest. We always say we have a fantastic. Because we do. We have fantastic guests.
We got a Santa Claus without a beard.
I wouldn't say he's Santa Claus without a beard.
Well,
although for us, he brought Christmas early.
Absolutely.
Because this gentleman that's coming on our show tonight,
it's going to be intricate.
It's very going to be intricate, but he's the backbone behind the whole redesign of the Business Power Hour. Right?
We redesigned it?
We redesigned all our logos.
When did we do this?
When we came over here.
Since last week?
Since last week.
All right.
We came over last week. We had a whole
I haven't
new look.
seen any of his work yet. You saw it?
I saw his work.
So you like it? Well, if you like it, then I like it.
I like what he's doing.
I'm still working on new hosts.
You're not supposed to be talking yet. You weren't introduced.
Yeah, you weren't introduced.
Santa.
Yeah, Santa.
All right, you want to introduce? Give Santa a hello. Let's introduce him to everybody.
All right, so, as everybody saw with this move, our graphics are looking a lot better. Fantastic, as a matter of fact.
Wait till they see what happens January 1.
I know, because we're continuing to develop this stuff. But we want to introduce, we thought it would be a great idea to bring this person on because branding is so important in everything that we do. And from a business perspective, you know me, I'm always looking from a business perspective. It's very important that your brand is out there and it's out there the right way.
He's going to make the Power Hour real powerful.
Real powerful. He's helping us. He's working with us on our brand. And I want to introduce Jeff Rumplick.
No, Jeff Guest.
It's Jeff Quest Graphics and Designs. Jeff Quest Graphics. So welcome, Jeff.
Hello.
Nice
it's a
to
quest having you here tonight.
Yeah,
It's a quest.
Thank you for
It was a
questing
quest
us.
getting here tonight.
Well, actually, it was the last minute.
was the last minute.
I couldn't ask for anybody better.
I love that we're discussing branding.
There
Hi,
you
how
go.
are you? I'm available.
Did you do that? Did you actually do that?
That's me.
You
That's
did? Oh, what's your phone number? Because in case people can't read it.
It's there. Well,
Oh, it's at 516-317. What's it?
8204.
8204. And by the way, if anyone would like to call into tonight's show, our phone number is 631-415-1365. And don't be bashful. Jeff is going to take phone calls. And if you need artwork, well, he's going to tell you all about himself.
Yeah, so Jeff, tell us about your company and how you got started.
Well, basically, I've been doing artwork since I was, a teenager. And one thing led to another. I was in advertising. I worked for magazines. I was a magazine artist. I was a magazine salesman. Jim and I actually met on a magazine years and years ago.
Was that boat magazine or
No,
something?
we were actually met at North Shore Today.
On North Shore Today.
Yeah, I was also involved in the beginning of a boat magazine here on Long Island. I was one of the sales.
It's sunk.
No, it's still around. It's still around. And we'll see.
Jimmy, did you like that one? It's sunk.
Yeah, but but because of the boating magazine, I've now been involved with a couple of boat dealers, and I wound up as advertising manager, working for a boat dealership here on the island for about 10 years. And when I left, I decided that what I offered them as the advertising manager for them, I can offer to everybody else on the island. Because the way I look at it, there's a lot of companies out there who can't afford to have a advertising manager on staff.
Right.
Well, yeah, business is done very differently now than it was 30 years ago when we all got into business. You had full-time people doing a lot of these jobs, and because of technology now, it's none of these jobs are full-time jobs anymore.
Right. In fact, a lot of the people that have the jobs are losing the jobs because of the fact that they can get them done anywhere they want. And basically, so I looked at it as, you know what, I'd rather work part-time for everybody than full-time for one person and sit around.
Well, it makes it more interesting, right? Because you're working on different projects all the time.
Constantly working on different projects. There's always something new that comes around the corner. I mean, I had a marina this year turn to me and said, you know what, we're having a tournament. We need a giant check to show to the owner, to the winner of the tournament. They told me this at 11 o'clock. They needed it at 4 o'clock.
Wow.
I had it for them. I had it done and ready for them. They were lucky.
Did it bounce?
Materials. It didn't bounce that I know of, but they still have it. I saw it this morning. I was there.
Well, the thing is,
this
Kate,
morning.
how do you get that check into the ATM machine?
It's not
That's
easy.
the question.
It's a very
Sideways.
big ATM machine. Doesn't matter. But seriously,
No, seriously,
this
though.
is the idea behind it. I go to see people all day long. Guaranteed, if I get in my car and I drive around and I stop at places, I'm coming out with work, because people always look at me and go, now that you're here, I need this or I need that.
Right.
And it's anything from the rules for our marina, as an example, or a boat name. That's my big thing, is boat names.
So basically, and if I could try to summarize what you do, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we had lunch yesterday, and we got to know each other a little bit. But so what you're providing is you're providing signage,
Right.
all different types of signage.
Right.
Okay. You're providing the advertising mix or creating of the ads, so to speak.
I create
Right?
I create the ads, I create the flyers, I create the business cards and the look of the business cards.
Right.
Now, if you've got a company where you've got like 20 people, you want everybody's business card to look alike. So
Right.
we come up with I create the original idea, and then from that, all I have to do when you call me and say, "Hey, I got another guy, Norman, just joined our group. I want him to have a business card." Fine, I take your business card, I change out your name for Norman's name and his extension number, and I send it to you, and you take it to the printer, or if you want me to, I can get it printed as well.
Right.
It's your choice. I do the setup so that you don't have to. My thought is that if you own a business and you're a small business or you're not a super conglomerate like that, your job as the owner or the manager is to make money at your business.
Right.
You don't have time to sit back and try and figure
Absolutely,
out
that's
what's going
exactly what
on
we talk about.
And oh yeah, I need the best price on getting silkscreen T-shirts for my group. Well, where do I go to? I have that capability. I have the people I know. If I can't do it myself, I can get it done for you, and that's the way I look at it.
You become a one-stop shop for people who need any type of printing or
Advertising, marketing
Advertising,
material.
marketing. And basically what I say to everybody is I have two goals. I have to make your phone ring and your door swing.
Well, what you did so
That's
far for
Oh, I
us
like that.
is that you made a flyer that we're going to be using tomorrow for a business meeting.
Right.
And then you made a sign for me, which I'm going to use for a concert.
Right. So
And
far.
two different types. One is vinyl
One is vinyl
and
on
one is paper.
Well, the
The
sign
vinyl's
you
on
want-
paper, right,
Yeah, the
understood.
sign you want is a 3x5 sign. All right, that's going to go in a window.
And that's 3 feet by 5 feet, not
3
3
by
inches
5
by
feet.
5 inches.
And I did, of course, an 8.5 by 11 flyer for you
Right.
guys, and we've also done some other financial things for you guys, setting them up. Right now, this time of year, the New York Boat Show is coming up in January, so a lot of the marinas are going to be calling me and asking me for signage for their booths.
So how did you get into, now you said you did advertising for a marina, right? So
Yeah.
you worked for them
Boat
for,
dealer.
for boat
Or
dealer.
boat dealer, yeah,
Number of years you worked for a boat dealer.
right.
All right. So it sounds like you're still very tied into that whole
You know,
business. Is that a vertical that you really focus on?
it is. Here's what happened. When I was working for the boating magazine, all right, I was going around to all the marinas and all the dealers and stuff.
How
like
many
that.
marinas are there in Long Island? Just for the hell of
Keeps
it.
changing. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of them
Right.
because of the fact of the economy the way it is. But the magazine used to be, with advertising, we used to be over a 200-page magazine at one time, selling used boats and advertising dealerships and marinas, and also there's also people in the marine business.
But there weren't 200 dealerships.
No, there was probably 150 at one point.
Really, that many?
I would think. There was
Yeah.
a lot there because you have to understand where in my area, okay, and I was only 1/3 of Long Island, and I had 125 people I saw each month, and the other two places, out east and out west from me, they all had like around 200 places to see. Not all boat dealers. You've got your mechanics, you've got fiberglass.
Anything
people,
related to the boat
anything
industry.
related to the boating industry. Yeah, I mean it was.
Rappers,
Actually, rappers are at boat dealers and servicemen.
Okay.
And there's a lot of service guys out there. After that, Long Island is just that. It's an island. So we've got
Right.
water all around us. So, boy, if you haven't got a boat, you're missing half of the fun on Long Island.
You have a boat, you better
See,
have plenty of money.
I don't prefer the boats. I prefer the flying over the water, not
Well,
on
you
it.
can do that too if you like.
So yeah.
But because of that, because I was in that industry though, a lot of the marine people know me personally.
So we're going to back up a little bit because one of the things that I do on our show is try to go through your history and how we got to where you are today. Ooh, yeah, right?
Back when?
Way back when. So Norman, ask the question.
And what were you doing when you were a kid in the schoolyard? Did you think about being a graphic artist? Or
I was
did you
a graphic
think
artist.
about selling ads in boat industry? Did you want to be an attorney? What did you want to do when you were playing ball or whatever it was in the schoolyard?
I was the son of a Chevrolet dealer, and my business was going to be a Chevrolet dealer for the rest of my life. That was the plan.
Oh, he owned the dealership?
My grandfather started it back in 1925. My father took it over. I was supposed to take it over from him. I came out of college. I was working there for 1 year. The economy went bad. We decided it was time to sell. Gone. Now I had to figure out what the rest of my life was about.
I thought I was going to be in the supermarket business because my whole family was in the supermarket business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Times change, you know.
Yep.
And what had happened for me was, of course, in high school, as you're mentioning, I was on, the school newspaper. I was a photographer for the yearbook.
So this is something that always interests you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So
I would have, when I came out of college. I mean, I believe it or not, I would go to the corner bar, and the guy was going to have a band playing this week. Hey, can you make me a flyer, a sign? And I would hand paint a sign that said so and so band is coming this week, and we'd put it up on the wall. And that's basically where it started.
Did you drive a Chevy Super Sport?
I still drive a Chevy.
Super Sport?
No, I had a Camaro. I never had a Corvette.
Oh, you had a Camaro?
You had a Camaro.
I had
Okay.
a couple Camaros.
Back in the day, Camaro, hot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the
Convertible?
Chick Mag- that car was a Chick Magnet.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
So was a GTO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GTO. Yeah.
I had a
That's
fire
on a Chevy,
engine
though,
red
so it's no
GTO with a
good.
black
Yeah.
vinyl top. Yes, I did.
There you go.
I did.
There you go.
But I didn't have a girl.
It was like it would look like the car from the Monkees.
No.
No.
It was nice. It was a 66. It was nice.
Okay.
It was nice.
Car from the monkeys.
I don't even
Well, that
know
was a
what kind of
GTO.
car.
Yeah.
Convertible
I
GTO.
have no idea.
And it was red.
But
I would
monkeys.
have rather had
That's
the
what-
Munsters car.
The Munsters car was a cool car to have. So, you always had interest in doing this,
Yes.
but based on your upbringing, you were like, okay, I'm going to go into the family business.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Family business didn't work out.
Family
And
business,
then what?
Family business didn't work out, so I decided to go for the next plan. And one day on a Tuesday, I grabbed everything I owned in the house. I got a U-Haul truck. I put it in the U-Haul truck, and I drove out of the driveway. And 4 days later, I was in Hollywood
Really?
looking for work.
So you drove. What kind of work were you looking for in
I wanted
Hollywood?
to be an actor,
You wanted to be an actor.
or I
Okay.
wanted to be a director or a producer.
Okay.
And I went out there, and I found out that
You said I'm here?
I'm here.
I'm here.
Where
Hire
do I
me.
go? I had friends who had people in the business that I could talk to, and I found out that everything was union, and I couldn't get in.
So they let you talk to them and then you left.
Yeah, and they told me to go back and get some
Exactly,
work. So I
right.
came home here to New York. I went to school in Manhattan for TV production.
Okay.
Learned everything I could about that, and I went back out there and still couldn't get a job. So I'm one of those guys who made the plunge, and you never heard from
You
again.
never heard from again. So did you find that out in Hollywood? It was all about who you know.
It is about who you know. It's
No one ever asked you to go on the casting couch, right?
No, I don't think so.
See, Jimmy liked that. He was laughing.
Look at me. Would you?
He always
Well,
goes there. He
it
always
could have
goes
been
there.
somebody else,
You never know.
No, it doesn't work that way.
asking.
So then I came back, and I was, working in a couple of different places, and I went to school for radio, and then I wound up on a couple of radio
Where to
stations.
go to school for radio?
Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Okay.
So
You want to hear my story about Columbia School of Broadcasting?
you at Columbia or Connecticut? Columbia's
It was in
Ohio.
Connecticut.
That's Connecticut
Yes.
School of Broadcasting.
That's Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yeah.
I did a recording in my senior year of high school,
Okay.
and I wanted to be a DJ. That's what I wanted to do. And I sent it away because they had to review it supposedly. They don't get back to me till November of that year. I'm already in college, whatever. So that was my whole thing. So now the next closest thing that I could get to doing that is doing concerts and being here. So this is my DJing. This is about as close as I'm going to get. That's my history.
But we
Next,
don't have 78s.
I have 78.
So you have 78s?
I don't have 'em with
We don't
me.
have them with you. You're not spinning them.
I'm not spinning.
So it's
no,
not
no.
really a DJ, right?
78s are. You don't even
Well,
know what a
that's-
78 is.
I know what a
Don't
78
even
is.
begin to tell me what a 78 is. No.
It's almost like a 33 and a third.
33 and a third.
Yeah. So please.
And I know the kids that are watching going, what is he talking about, 78?
What's a record player?
Yeah,
what's a record?
What's a record?
Well, no, they know that now because
A Victrola.
vinyl is coming back.
Is Victrola coming
Yeah.
back?
No,
Vinyl.
Victrola is not, but
Oh, okay.
vinyl is coming back.
Vinyl has
So,
been back for a couple
people
years.
have to learn about needles.
Needles and all that fun stuff.
Special
Yeah.
diamond needles.
Diamond needles and
Yeah.
the whole thing. Remember how even back then it was so hard to find the right needle, and then you had to try and put it on.
I went out and I bought a Webcore tape recorder so I could make that tape to send to the school. Remember Webcore?
No.
They're still around. They
Are
make
they?
some high-tech stuff.
So
I
you had the tape recorder and you had the handheld mic. and-
Exactly.
I'll tell you what. When I was at Connecticut School of Broadcasting, one of the things you had to do at the end was you had to make your own tape,
Right.
which was basically an intro and outro, a little bit of music in between, and then you had to do like 2 or 3 commercials that you had to create and design what happened. And I designed a commercial for Billy Joel. All
Okay.
right, for a Billy Joel concert. You know, we're going to send you to the concert, and we're talking back in 86 or so, or 85 is when I
Okay.
did this. And in my presentation, I put down, and not only will you go to the concert, but we'll have a limousine that will pick you up and take you to the concert, which was unheard of back then.
Right.
I sent my tape out to all these radio stations. Nobody ever called me back, but
But-
everybody started having limousines to take people to concerts all of a sudden. I'm like, what happened? You know?
Did you get royalties? Did you ask for
Of
royalties?
course, nobody. Of course,
No,
I didn't get
they didn't
royalties.
even they
Don't
didn't
be
even
ridiculous.
acknowledge that he got his tape. I mean,
Yeah.
it's you know so you got done with Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Got done with Connecticut School.
You sent all these tapes out.
And I did get some jobs.
Okay.
I was working in Bridgeport. Later on, I was working here on Long Island, out in the Hamptons, and I worked in Babylon for a little bit. And
Okay.
a lot of times, I would also do artwork for the radio stations, like BAB at one. Was it BAB? No, GLI. Pardon me, GLI.
GLI. Yeah.
They needed artwork for their presentation book. So when they go out on sales calls, there would be these cartoons and stuff like that. Well,
Right.
that was great, you know. And I'm trying to think what else I did. I also was a Grummanite at one time.
So okay.
And
All right. So now because this is where I dig in, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So you graduated Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Right.
You're starting to do these I'm assuming part-time
Part-time,
gigs,
weekends, yeah.
weekends, overnights, things like that
Yeah.
at these little radio stations.
Right.
You're doing some artwork for them,
Mhm.
but you have to pay the bills.
Right, exactly. So
So-
you're making $5 an hour at the radio station, and you're there
Right.
for 3 hours. In fact, the Connecticut station I was on, I quit when it cost me more in gas than I was getting paid.
Right.
Well, they're notorious for not paying.
Oh, I know that. But you know, I was working one day of the week, so that was no
Right.
good. And but I was also working at Grumman at the time.
So what were you doing at Grumman? Now, for those of you who don't know, Grumman, as we know, Grumman is now part of Northrop.
Northrop Grumman.
Right, Northrop Grumman. Before that, Grumman was just a company on Long Island that produced military aircraft
Right.
and other things,
And I worked
canoes and
For the
vans.
for
and
the
things like that.
military?
One of the people who actually, I was a senior software aide
Okay.
working for the EA-6B project.
Wow. Okay, that's cool
All right,
stuff.
Which is a top secret plane at the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's not.
Is it
Not
still-
anymore. Yeah.
Is it still a secret?
EA6
no, I don't
now.
know. But and the funny thing is, you know, I was there for like 5 years. But
Right.
when I started back in '82, I think it was 81, '82,
Mhm.
my cousin had started 6 months before me. He's still working there.
Is he really? He's still working for
He
them.
still works for Northrop Grumman. So they.
So he lasted all through the cutbacks and the
Yep,
layoffs
yep,
and,
and he's still
and
going.
the closings.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He
Good
had
for
to
him
move-
is
he had to
right.
move off Long Island, but
Right.
you know,
Oh, so he's in another part of the country?
he's in another part of the country. I'm not going to say where, but he has been working for them for.
By someone after him?
Well, he probably works on top secret stuff.
I can't. Discuss.
So you can't disclose. He's working on the Mars lander.
It makes great ratings
Yeah.
for us when we find out.
Oh, I know that. I know.
Our,
it says it.
our ratings will...
Well, I don't know
shoot.
about our ratings will go that high, but they'll go up.
Because next week we could have him on the show.
if you can find out.
If we can find him, we'll
But-
track him down.
But I was working. So I was working there, and I was working at the radio station,
Mhm.
and I also got a job working for an insurance company. So I had 3 different jobs at one time.
Wow.
When I was working for
What
Grumman,
what type of insurance?
it was for what's it called? It was for people who were independents. If you were
Also, it's that
if you had your own business
Liability
and you
insurance.
couldn't get insurance because you didn't have enough
assigned risk?
employees.
Right.
It was just for the self-employed.
Self-employed insurance. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they've since gone off Long Island completely.
So out of all those 3 jobs, which one did you enjoy the most?
I like what I'm doing now.
I understand you like what you do.
Oh, that was
now,
the next question.
You know, but
Well, I worked at Grumman for 5 years, and then I
Right.
had to move on
why did you have to move on?
because I was getting married, and I
Okay.
wanted to make more money.
All right.
He dealt with the Russians.
And so I went to work. So
The Ruskies.
I was a CAD operator, which
Okay.
is CAD-AM. You're
Yep.
drawing on a computer screen. So I got a job working for a company upstate,
Mm-hmm.
and gave my 2 weeks notice. Went up to upstate to this company. Walked in the first day.
What part of upstate?
Poughkeepsie area.
Poughkeepsie.
Yeah.
I went
So
to- I
you
went-
left
I'm familiar with
Grumman, International Company.
Well, for a company that was working with IBM.
They were an associate
Yeah,
of or
because
part
back
of?
in the mid-'80s, I went to school at Marist.
Okay.
All right. And IBM owned that town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poughkeepsie was an IBM. When IBM closed all their plants up there, that
Yeah.
town died.
Well, I went to work for this company, and when I got to the first day, everybody went, "Who are you?"
Mhm.
And I was like, "What do you mean, who am I?" And the girl who hired me, which basically what happened was, I should go back up a little bit. I went up there to talk to this girl. She's, "All right, I want to give you a test. I want to put you on this CAD-AM. I want you to draw this picture." I think it was a tank. "I want you to
Okay.
draw this picture. I'll be back to check on you in a half an hour, see how far you get." So 15 minutes later, she comes walking in, and I'm sitting there like this, looking around the room. She's like, "What's the matter? You stuck?" I said, "No, I'm not stuck." She says, "Well, why aren't you working?" I said, "Because I'm done." "What do you mean you're done?" She gave me a
Yeah.
thing that she thought was going to take me 2 hours to do, and now she was going to give me half an hour. I was finished with it. She said, "When can you start?" So, again, I got the 2 weeks, but how did I go up there?
Right.
Nobody knows who I am. She comes in, she goes, "Okay, let's put you into a group." Well, no groups knew who I was.
Right.
And the guy that they finally put me in with was a guy who used to work at an IBM think tank, which basically, if you don't know what an IBM think tank is,
It's a war room.
25 people come into work in the morning. They walk up to this safe door, call it like a safe.
Right.
They take the combination, they open the door, everybody walks into the room, they walk to their desk, they sit down. They shut the door behind them, and the people work without talking to anybody next to them all day long.
Oh
The
man, that's
bell
brutal.
rings at the end of the day, they get up, they walk out, the door gets opened, they come out, they go home, they come back the next day, do the same thing. That's what this guy did for like 10 years or something like that.
Wow.
So now he's working for this company, right? And he's doing things that just didn't make sense to me. And I'd ask questions, and he didn't like the fact that I was asking questions. So he fired me the next day.
So you lasted 2 days.
I lasted 2 days.
Right.
Came home, went back to work for a Chevy dealership, and 2 months later, I get a phone call from that company. And the girl who hired me, she goes, "I haven't seen you around lately."
You
I
explained
said,
it without.
"Lately? What do you mean lately?"
Yeah.
She says, "I haven't seen you around anywhere." I said, "What are you talking about? You fired me." She said, "What do you mean I fired you?" I said, "When the guy fired me, and I went to sit down and talk to you, and he says, 'Who do you think told me to fire you?'" She said, "Oh, really?" She says, "Do me a favor, call me back in 10 minutes. I called her back in 10 minutes. She says, "The problem you experienced here before is no longer a problem. Can you come back?" And I was like, "You know what? If you'd asked me that 2 days after I left,
I would've-
maybe. But 2 months after,
No.
I don't think so."
Okay, so you got this crazy zigzag going on all over here, right?
Yeah. So I gotta find work really quick.
So now you're working as a are you working as a salesperson with Chevy dealer?
Chevy dealers, we're a salesperson. Yeah.
Okay, so you're working as a salesperson with a Chevy dealer.
Right.
All right. Are you really happy doing this, or is this?
Well, that's what I
or
did.
is it
It
a
was
gap?
what I was trained for all my life.
It's what you
Right.
grew up as.
But I didn't really like what I was doing. No. And there was some reasons why. I'm not going to get into it. But while I'm working at another dealership, a guy came in to buy a car, and in talking with him, I found out that he had just gone into a franchise, a signed franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about it, and I thought, that's exactly what I'm looking for, because You get to be creative, and you can, make these signs.
So you
and
really like
whatnot.
being creative. You like, well, when you sat down with us, you were like picking our brains as to what we were looking at and what we want to do with.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went into the sign franchise, and 2 years later, I sold the sign franchise and basically walked out with $35 in my pocket.
So
Excellent.
So you basically broke even.
No. I did not break even.
You had money in your pocket.
Yeah, $35.
Yeah, but he's had 3,500 when he started.
That's right. Yeah, I had 200,000 when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I never gave myself a salary while I was there.
Wow. So you worked for nothing.
I think you needed Darren back in that day.
Well,
way before.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I do, and I teach people like you that are very good at doing something, but when you get into business, not necessarily sure how to do it, other than what you know.
Right.
And one of the things that we always talk about is getting away from that, sacrificing yourself for the good of everything else. There's ways to work around those things. And that's some of the things that we do when we're doing the business coaching and things like that, is helping you develop that and help you grow that and all that other stuff. It's unfortunate you experienced that, but too many times we have people that come on to this show and we talk about their journey, and this is why we're going through this journey. You've gone through so many different things.
Yeah.
To finally get to where you are now, and now you're really happy what you're doing.
Now you got it locked.
Well, I'm happy. I've got it locked, and I'm happy because of the fact that the people that I work with, most of the people I work with, trust me with what they need.
Well, it's all about connection, right?
So you also have a
It's not about
business
connection.
that is generic to all industries. Everybody can use what you do.
Right.
Now, I don't think you have another entertainment company except for maybe this one, outside of myself now.
Yeah, I have this entertainment company.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say.
So outside of them, now you got another one, all right, and who knows what other ones you're going to wind up getting. And
Let me put this in another way, because I understand where you're going. I think I know where you're going with this. Okay. When I was working for the boat dealership that I was working for, which is unfortunately no longer in business, we did things a certain way. Now I'm working with several boat dealers. And the important thing to remember is that I'll walk into a place, I'll find out what's going on for real at this place. But if I go to your marina and you say, so how are things over at ABC Marina? My answer is usually, they don't even talk to me.
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, it's none of your business.
Right.
is it run like a car dealership, boat dealerships?
Yes, in some ways it is, but more because the fact that unlike, if you had a car dealership and you let all the people who bought your cars park their cars in your parking lot, at a boat dealer,
That's what happens.
they also have a marina where they keep the boats right there, and then and the other thing about a boat versus a car that you've got to remember is, and I don't know if you've ever owned a boat.
No.
Okay. Most people who own boats, basically, as you're driving a boat through the water, there's resistance of the water against the boat.
Right.
So when you take off, you take the throttle and you put the throttle forward. It's like getting in your car and going to pull out of your driveway and putting your foot to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
All right? If you did that every single time you drove your car, you'd have it in the shop every 3 weeks because the engine just can't take it. With a boat, people only use it for the weekends and stuff like that, but still, they're pushing it. So it constantly has to be serviced.
But you can only push it in certain areas. You can't push it when you're close to the marina and such.
No, of course, when you're
That's when you're out there.
Yeah, but still,
But
you're
the
not going
point-
to always be by the marina.
Yeah, but the point you're making is that people beat on their boats. They don't treat their boats the same as they would treat their cars.
Not that they beat on them, but they use them.
It
Right.
depends what you're using it for.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this about boat owners.
Mm-hmm.
It's the great. I had a guy tell me this one time when I was in the dealership, and I never forgot it. He says, "You know what? When it comes to paying my taxes on my house," he says, "I gripe and I get upset about it. When it comes time to pay, stuff on my car, getting it serviced, I'm mad as hell. I just can't stand it. When it comes time to paying on stuff for my boat, here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. Take it. Take more.
Well, that's their baby. That's their passion, right?
That's their passion. Right. That's
Most
their passion.
people, that's their passion.
And if you're a boat owner, you're not a golfer. If you're a golfer,
Right.
you're not a boat owner.
Right.
And same goes for tennis and
Well,
and
everybody
campers.
has their passions, and that. Boat owners, when they get obsessed with the boat owning, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. If my brother bought a boat for the first time like 3 years ago, and he bought a small one, and now last year he got a bigger one, and now he wants to get another, a bigger one than that. But he's always out on his boat.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. It's very expensive.
Very
There used to be,
expensive.
there was a cartoon years ago where the guy gets into his car and he's driving down the road and he gets to the end of the road and it says Marina and he gets out of the car and he reaches out and he pulls out a pail and he walks. They show him walking down the pier and over
Right.
to the boat. When he gets to his boat, he takes the pail and he just goes like this and he throws the pail at the boat and money comes out.
That's it. That's what it is. And you know what? We didn't really get into it, but I'm a pilot.
I heard.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
You like
So
to fly.
I like to fly. And a lot of people that I know who own aircraft, they tell me they've also owned boats. It's much cheaper to own an aircraft
Yeah.
than it is to own a boat.
Yeah.
And they say that. He goes, boats are never ending with the money. It's just nonstop.
Nonstop. But the funny part about a boat is that a boat owner will always own a boat. They won't give up. They won't take the boat out and I can't stand this.
Right.
Whatever.
They'll
the
plant
boat out
flowers in the yard before they give it up.
3 years. They'll go out and they'll buy a boat for $50,000 and 2 years later come back and say, you know what? I like it, but I could use something a little bit bigger. So I want to give you back this boat. I want to buy that one for $65,000.
Right.
And it's constant, and which is great. Great
Right.
for me, especially because I'm constantly going back and putting names on the boats.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. So let's get back on track here. Let's get
Why?
So you're doing a Chevy dealership,
Right.
right? You went into the sign business, and you left the sign
And
business.
I left the sign business, and then I went in. And when I left the sign business, because it was a franchise sign business, I had to sign a non-compete, and I couldn't go into another sign company for 2 years.
Right.
So I basically took my signs that I would design, and I just made them smaller. And I went to work for the boating magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and after.
So what were you doing for the voting magazine?
I was a salesman, and I was the district.
So you were selling advertising space.
I was selling advertising space. I was setting up we were doing the paste up of the magazine itself. There was
Okay.
only three of us, and the owner. Doing the paste up, and we did and then I took it down to the printer and made sure the printing got done. And then after the printing got done, we'd go take the books and we would distribute them ourselves. So I was driving I was doing 800 miles an hour. 800 miles an hour. Okay.
That's
800
pretty
miles
fast.
a
That's pretty
week.
fast. That's very
It
fast.
felt like it.
No, I've never
800
done it.
I was doing 800 miles a week
That's the throttle.
Wow.
in my car, my
Wow.
own personal car, delivering books
Books.
to
All-
all over my section of Long Island. I mean, when we first started the magazine, there were 8 of us,
Right.
and as the week would go on, he'd go, "All right, well, I can't pay you guys salary anymore. I got to pay you commission on what you bring in."
Right.
And guys would go, "See ya." So I would get my area figured out, and I'd be bringing money in, and this guy at the area next to me would quit.
And you'd pick up his area.
And I'd pick up his area. And then I'd pick up this guy's area. Next thing you knew, I had half of Long Island.
Right.
From Montauk to the
So-
Suffolk border.
Okay, so you had this magazine going.
And that magazine,
Right.
I didn't have I was going with the magazine.
You're going with the magazine.
And
Working
I
for the
left-
magazine.
And I left there.
How long were you there for?
The first time I was there 3 months, and then I left and I came back later on, and I was there for about a year, and then I left again, and then the guy called me to come back because he had somebody. Well, I had to come back, and I was there for like 3.5, 4 years after that.
Okay, so about 5 years worth of time that you put into
off
that
and on,
magazine.
yeah,
Off and on, right?
And then I went to a company in Manhattan that had. I'm trying to think how many magazines. They had like 30 magazines that they represented
Right.
across the country, and they put me in charge of 15 of them.
In what department?
In what department?
The advertising department?
Advertising department.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, I was doing sales.
Sales.
I was doing, and that after 6 months, I couldn't handle that because that was a completely different type of sale. When here on Long Island,
Because you were going into like 7-Eleven or something like that and say, here's the magazines we got?
No, not at all.
How
Not
did
at
that
all.
work?
That's completely different.
Okay.
All right. So here on Long Island, I had this. At one point, I had the middle section. There were 3 of us.
Right.
At one point, I was the middle guy. Okay, I went from Glen Cove out to Patchogue.
Okay.
And the guy from Patchogue on was another guy, and the guy from Nassau County was another guy. So what I would do is I would actually have a regular route that I would follow.
Mm-hmm.
And so every month, I was stopping at over 125 different places 3 or 4 times, because first you drop off the magazine to them, and then you'd come back a week and a half later and you talk to them about their ad. Then you come back and make the ad. Then you got to go back and you got to show them the ad. So it was a constant.
Well, back then it really was an email that
there was no email back then, right? Exactly, and stuff. So you had to do it. And in fact, when I made the ads at night, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, designing ads and then bring them to an artist to make them.
Okay.
And then I had to proof them, and then I had to show them to the people. It was a lot more involved. When I went to New York, I went there with the idea that I'd had this situation. I was very successful at it.
Right.
They hired me immediately because they liked the way I did that. And then all of a sudden when I get there, they're like, well, you can't just drive out and see people. You've got to make appointments.
Who said that?
The rep company. You can't just go to this place or that place. So you've got it. So this guy is going to advertise in the magazine, and this guy's going to advertise in the magazine, and that guy's in this other magazine. So you got to call them, make an appointment. And if you've got to go to an ad agency, you can't just go to the ad agency and talk to the
So you went from being able to really run your own show.
Right.
That was successful.
To being handcuffed.
Being handcuffed, and not only being handcuffed, but they kept telling me you're not getting the job done. Well, now, first of all, you give me 15 magazines. Mm-hmm. Secondly, now instead of having Long Island as my area of to travel, I now have New England.
Right.
All the way up to Maine.
Yeah, you're not going to be successful. So they put a lot of handcuffs on you.
They put a lot of
so that was about 6 months that you were there?
About 6 months or so, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. And the funny part about it is right before I left, I was able to make the biggest sale that company had ever made at that point with the Bank of Boston.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're able to close a huge deal.
I closed a huge deal right before I left,
right.
Which they had been paying me a commission without, when they were going to ask me for, draw, they were going to ask for it back. My commission covered it plus a little bit more.
Oh, so there you go. So you're able to walk out with a little bit of money in your pocket.
Well, let's give your phone number off again.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how to reach you, because it's starting to get late, and we have some more stuff that we need to talk to you about.
Okay, so
go
my
ahead.
phone number, if you need to talk to me, you can call me 516-317-8204.
Could you repeat that?
317-8204. You forget I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
That's right, you did.
Say it twice.
Okay.
But the best way to get a hold of me really is through email at jeffquest@aol.com. Jeff Quest is JEFFQUEST, not GUEST.
Because you're not a guest, you're a quest.
I'm a quest. And the best thing to do is send me an email, because now I've got what you want in writing. Mm-hmm. And I will not, I will not lose it. I'll be able to get a hold of you easier too. And
by the way,
now I have a way to send you proofs, and we can work it out.
So really, what we're talking about here is, if you have an idea, or you need something printed, or you need something worked on, or even if, I got a company and I'm really looking for some branding ideas on how to do stuff, things like that. Can people reach out to you for that,
Yes, they
Jeff?
can. In fact, I've already, we're going to name drop a couple here.
Name drop. We're name dropping. He's going to say the Business Power Hour.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
So places like Long Island Boating Center.
Okay.
Thunder Bikes LI.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just to name a few, but those two right there. Not only did they come to me and say, "What can you do for me?" I created their logos.
They would be great to be on our show.
He didn't say the Business Power Hour.
No, he didn't.
I didn't say
But-
that. And I also have redone the Business Power Hour.
Who are they?
You that if for people who watch this radio, can I say this, Jim? Is it okay?
Do whatever you want.
Okay, thank you. For those of people who come to the website for this wonderful network.
And say Jim Savali's great.
And Jim Savali is great. By the way, we all should mention that Jim Savali's wife is having a birthday today. Happy birthday!
Oh,
Happy birthday.
All right.
Yay.
What is she, Jim? Now 17.
She's younger than me.
We know that.
If you want to call Jim Savali's wife or leave a message for her,
Her number is
call at 631-415-1365. And what is your wife's first name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. And wish Jennifer a happy birthday. And say hello to Jeff Quest.
Jeff Quest.
Jeff Quest Quest.
So can I interject for one moment?
Yeah, sure.
Interject.
I noticed in the beginning you were praising Jeff's greatness and everything like that.
now not so much.
But now, I want to know who introduced you to Jeff.
Oh, well, we know that. We came over. Listen,
What was that?
we came and met with Jim, and we said we wanted to make the move over to Village Connection. Jim,
No.
Hold on.
Jim was hounding.
I was
He
hounding.
was chasing me.
He was chasing.
He was chasing.
Norm. Norm
I
likes
was. I
to
called him at
chase
night. I called him at night.
I like being chased.
Yeah.
And Norm likes being chased. So Norm was being chased. We had a meeting. We hit it off. We said, okay, we want to make this
was done.
move. It was done. Lo and behold, before we even knew it, all of a sudden new graphics are popping up for our show.
Yeah.
And we were like, what's going on here? And then we were talking about doing additional things, which is what we met over. And it was like, boom. Jim said, this is the guy you got to call if you want to do these things. We had a conference call. He goes, here's Jeff's information. Give him a call. We called you.
We had
sat
lunch.
down, we had lunch.
Yep.
Had a cheeseburger.
Very pleased
I
with
didn't
everything
get
you've
lunch.
done.
And I
so far.
paid, yes.
That,
Yes.
And I mean.
And quick.
I didn't get any lunch out of that.
Well,
Because you can't get out of here.
but Jim, next time, Jim, you got to come
I'm
with
going
us.
to bring you a gyro from across the street.
He finally bought me lunch. It's been months. He's been
Nice.
saying he's going to buy me lunch.
He
finally
called me
bought
today. He
lunch.
wants me to buy me lunch again. I'm like,
No, I didn't say I'd buy you lunch again. I said you want to meet.
You want to meet?
You
That
said
means
breakfast or something.
That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it.
so
But
breakfast.
you said no because you're having a telephone
I'm
company.
having telephone problems at
Whatever.
home. Yeah.
okay.
But anyway, yeah. So,
So-
here on this station, you'll notice that there's all these different shows. They've got all different looks to them,
Right. And it's you.
and it's me. It's basically Jim calls me and says, "Okay, I got another one for you. Here's the
Right.
name. See ya." Doesn't
Big-
tell me what it's
big-
about
no.
or anything else.
Because in the beginning, I would just say to Jeff, go check out their page
Right.
and get a feel for who
What-
they are and what they do. And that's what he would do, because if I explain it, it's not the same as him.
No, it's the right thing.
Yeah.
So that he does a little research and he looks at what they're all about.
Yeah. I mean,
And he
if
comes
you
up
look
with
at
a look.
the banner across the top of the screen, that's Jeff.
yeah.
He created that for
It's been
us.
a
Right
long.
there.
Yeah, right.
And
You see,
right
what
here. Right here.
What makes
here.
Yep.
what makes our show unique is that we are completely different in our businesses and also personality. So we feed off each other.
Yeah, wait a
Yeah.
second. Wait, Jeff, when we were having lunch yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We were talking about jackets, weren't we?
Yes.
We were talking about jacket. Where's your jacket?
Something not for tonight, for tomorrow.
Oh, for tomorrow.
Jackets?
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yes.
special jackets,
The
that
special
stage
jackets.
jackets.
The stage jackets.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got some pretty loud jackets.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we,
him. Oh,
we
him. Yeah.
Him, I thought you were going to wear it tonight.
we-
so.
No,
the
no,
question
no,
was,
no.
what we're working on right now between us, I'm going to say,
Right.
is you guys want me to make caricatures of you,
Right.
and it was said that Norm is known for his jackets and he wears glitter, and my
Yeah.
question was to Darren, how do you draw glitter?
It's difficult.
Right.
You do it by hand.
Just at a time. I mean,
Yep,
take
yep.
forever, but.
Price is the same, though. I'm not paying for hours.
You'll pay. You'll pay.
No, you'll keep.
But believe it or not, I do that. I mean, the nice thing that I do with, for instance, on my boat names, I offer people the chance that not only do I do a boat name for your boat, but if you decided that you wanted to make jackets, T-shirts, things like that, and you need the artwork.
Do people really do
I set
that?
that up. Sometimes they do. Not a lot, but sometimes. I'll tell you what I've been doing a lot lately is dock boxes.
Dock boxes.
Yeah, when you have a boat and
Oh,
you have
I
a lot
gotcha.
of stuff, you leave it on the dock in a box that you
Right.
lock
Oh,
up.
yeah.
And people will, what they have, rather than having a white box, they take the same name they have on the boat and they put it on the box.
They put it on a box, so this way you're doing the lettering for the boat, and you're doing it. Now, has anybody come to you and said, "Hey, listen, I got a boat, but I don't know what to name it"?
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
And then you come up with a name for the boat.
Yes.
How do you do that? What's your process to come up with the name for that person?
I ask them what they like, I ask them what they're into. If they can't come up with anything, I offer the name Emanon always.
Emanon?
Emanon.
What is Emanon?
You don't know what Emanon is?
No, I don't know. What
Emanon is like one of the number one names for a boat.
I know what it is.
E-M.
The guy flies an airplane.
Yeah.
Why is he going to know that?
Listen to me.
Look in the mirror.
E-M-A-N-O-N. Spell it backwards, it spells no name.
No name. There you go. Emanon.
Oh.
I like that. I like
So,
that. That's
you know,
awesome.
but I do have, I've come up with names for people. I mean, and I've seen a couple names that people come that I just think are stupendous.
Right.
The best one I ever saw was Angler Management.
Angler management. There you go.
That
good.
was really, really good.
That-
You know?
I
That
like
is
to
good.
have purpose and reason for the things that I do. Now, my business specializes in charities. We do concerts primarily for charity. We do them for everybody, but we do them for charities. I had a band, and my band, I'm going to tell you the name of the band, and you tell me what it was for. It should be pretty simple. Called Second Time Around.
All divorced guys.
That's it.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
It was for people that were getting married again for the second or third time. They would call, and we had the music for them. We had a 7-piece band, and we would work.
You play for a second wedding.
Yeah, they do.
Love is
Love
Better
is
than the second
renewed.
time. That was one of the songs.
songs.
That was one of the songs. Yeah.
That's like on Facebook when they ask questions like that. What song should you not play at a funeral?
Right. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So
But
it's
anyway.
It's. I mean, you're doing tremendous work for us, and Jim, and this whole.
And
station.
everybody else that you're dealing
As
with.
a matter of fact, today, for those of you who follow Village Connection Network on Facebook, which you should do, Jim, you posted everybody's card up today,
Which
right? For all the different shows
all
that
the
you've
shows, huh?
created.
which I made last week for him.
Yeah, which is tremendous.
Yeah, because what we've done now, our most recent thing, and Village Connection Network is evolving.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, we're getting new
Right.
shows, we're getting new equipment. As if you'll notice, we have the wireless microphones tonight.
Yeah, the wireless
That you guys
microphones
are
are
working.
working fantastic.
Can everybody hear what you're saying?
I don't know. Can everybody hear us?
Hello, can everybody hear
Or
us?
should we all be like,
Give us a thumbs
but-
up.
but
I know.
give us a-
When Jim put the headphones on
Yeah.
before, he was like, "Great! It sounds
sounds
great."
but who knows?
So
But we're always striving to go to do more stuff here.
Mhm.
So as more stuff comes up, we try different things. Like right now, we've got ending credits.
right.
We never had that, and what we've done is
How long did I ask for that?
actually, when you asked for it, I did it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it was a big.
I did the first one in 2 weeks.
That was
and
a
then-
big undertaking.
Yeah, well, I did the first one in 2 weeks for him because I had to figure out how to create them.
Right.
I had to buy the program actually, and then I said to him for about 3 weeks. I said, I got a new one coming. Wait till you see it, and that's the one we're playing. Well, we'll play it after the show,
Right.
which has all of the sponsors for all the shows.
Right.
Now, the reason why it took so long is because people who have the shows didn't give me the sponsor stuff. I had to go and research it online, or go to the place, take a picture, all kinds of stuff.
Don't worry, we're going to give you all our sponsor stuff.
Well, yours
You
is
know.
just your place, so I mean,
Yes.
come on, this is already done.
Well-
But seriously, if you call me and you say, Jeff, I need a website, or I need a flyer, or I need some signs inside my building, I need lettering on the wall, I need my van lettered. These are all the things I do for you. If you need something wrapped, I got a guy who'll wrap stuff.
Right.
If you need printing done,
So you're a lot like as far as you're the one phone call, sign wise, whatever is needed, you can get done because if you can't do it, you'll bring somebody else
signs,
in to do it.
advertising, marketing.
Okay.
That's me, and I do it all. I'm the one guy that you need. Basically what I tell people, I want to be your advertising department. That you only pay for when you use me.
Right.
All right, you charge me on an hourly basis, and the truth of the matter, if I do something for you and it takes 15 minutes, you're going to get charged for 15 minutes. You're not going to get charged for a whole hour.
So you got 15 minutes because now with your glitter, now we're going to get charged a half an
Yeah,
hour.
well, your glitter is going to be about 4 days.
Yeah, you
worth.
said.
So my son, unfortunately, good news, my son's already through college, so you don't.
He's going to take care of it.
Yeah, it's up to him.
You call him to get paid.
Yeah.
That's it.
But seriously, I mean, people that I've done work for tell me they like what I do, and they prove it by constantly coming back to me.
Well, it comes down to the majority of the work that you get. Are you getting it from referrals?
I get everything from referrals.
Okay, so that says it just there.
Yeah.
Referral work is the best work that you can get because that means somebody likes what you're doing. And if you're getting all your work from referrals and you're doing a good job and you know, I mean, we just met you and we're just blown away by the stuff that you've done for
Hey,
us.
easy,
already.
easy.
You know,
Prices go up when
like
you
the
say
boat-
that.
No, he doesn't.
Don't say
When
that.
you do that, then he likes
No,
us better.
No.
So when he's
He
doing
likes
something
us
for
better
me,
when
he'll
he gives
charge
us-
me less, charge
when
you
he
more.
gives us the right prices.
Right.
That's when you like him better.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
They
You
don't
know?
know me very well, do they?
Is he setting us up for the fall, Jim?
No,
He's a good
I
man.
wouldn't
all
have
right.
recommended him if I thought that.
You know, and the thing that you have to realize is that it's a partnership between us.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm
Because you're going to get your referrals from
Well,
us, and we're going to get the good
every-
work from you.
Every one of my clients, that's what I tell them. So we're working together here. Nobody's working for each other or anything like that. I'm always connecting my clients together, and that's one of the things that we got to do.
I mean, years ago, I would go when I had my sign shop, and I would go to a guy. I remember this one liquor store. I walked in. The guy wanted signs to put up on the aisles to tell you what's in each aisle. I said, okay, and I figured out the price, and I said, here you go, and it was $400. Let's say. He goes, I want a better price. Oh, okay. Figure it out. Okay, yeah, $600.
That's
And he goes, where's that a better price? I said,
For
it's
me.
a much better price. I'm making $200 more on this job. And he goes, no, not for you, for me. And I looked at him and I went, who are you?
right.
You're going to come, I'm going to make this for you for $400, which I'm
Oh.
stupid if I'm going to give you the $600 price when I know I can do it for $400.
Right.
Because I don't know how you guys are. I don't like it when you walk into a place and the guy starts talking to you and says, well, you can get this curtain here for $1,200, but because you're a new client, I can give it to you for $600, and if you pay cash, I can do it for $400.
Right.
Well, why didn't you just tell me $400 when I walked in the door?
Right.
I don't like the game.
I walk out when I
do walk out.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I-
this
So-
is what we got. We have because I've been just notified.
Right.
We have about
Minute left.
57 seconds
There we go.
left. So give everybody your phone number again.
Okay, it's 516-317-8204. If you want to see my stuff that I do, go to my website, jeffquest.net. Not com,
.net.
net. And if you want to email me, please do, jeffquest@aol.com. And if you need referrals, I got plenty of people out there who would love to talk to you and love your business as well. You know,
And we'll go from there.
And where are you
Right,
going to be
Chef.
tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I am going to be at the Microsoft store right here at Walt Whitman Mall in Huntington.
And I'm going to be with you.
Yeah, you're gonna come down and you're gonna help out. We're gonna have a panel of how to be a great guest on a show just like this. And I like
Not
that.
like
Jeff.
that.
No, not
that's
like
not
that.
like that.
No.
That's not. No,
don't
that's.
mind me, I'm just branding.
That's he's just branding yourself. That's what you got to keep doing.
Well, I'm Brandon.
Oh, Brandon, there we go. So what do you got going on? Nothing until after the holidays.
Nothing
right?
until after the holidays, but we're going to be big and strong after the holidays.
All right. All right. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Man, this time really flew. Thanks for coming on, Jeff.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
everybody.
it.
Thank you for viewing.
I just got to say one thing. I want to say hi to my friend Joe Vancura from
Right.
Oregon.
All right, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Oregon.
What's up?
Fantastic. Thanks, Joe, for tuning
Thank you,
in.
Joe.
Right.
You want to come on the show, Joe?
That's it.
Well,
We
we'll
can do
Skype
that.
you.
We'll
Jim's
Skype you
here.
in. All right.
Excellent.
So you guys have a good night now. Thank
And have
you.
a great week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Ron.
And the Music Man. Brought to you by Friend Entertainment USA, producing the best concerts for charities and corporations for over 30 years. CBMS Consulting Services, turning vision into value. And CBMS Bookkeeping Services, control your business before it controls you. In association with Village Connection Network, your full-service marketing and media company. Now, here is Darren and the Music Man.
You go higher because it's after the fact. You know, you got to realize that this is late at night for people that are getting ready for tomorrow.
last night, by the time I got home last
idea of where I stand.
Oh, my mind clears. Lord, I shed all my tears. Oh, now baby, I was just waiting here while you moved on.
Soul is something I've always wanted to know. There's whole sense of security, this newfound freedom you kept from me. The sound of all your loaded gun, this outbreak war has just begun. The sound of all your loaded gun, this broken man has already won.
Oh, my mind clears. Lord, I shed all my tears. Oh, now baby, I was just waiting here